What is going on, freedom fighters? Welcome back to Tyranny Response Tuesday here on Break the Chains Media. Today is Tuesday, January 20th, 2026. It has been 1 year since Donald Trump took the oath of office for his second non-consecutive term. So 1 year of review, 1 year of conversation and discussion in regards to how we actually feel the whole year has been. Like, what have we seen? What were we expecting? What ended up we get? What ended up we get? No, what did we end up getting? And what is down the pike in our years to come? We got 3 years left. We've got the midterms right around the corner. Lots of stuff to get into politically. Nation, whether you're talking about the nation, whether you're talking about states, but a lot of things have happened. And we can review all of that later in the later half of this live stream. Might be talking about that in the premium section of Tyranny Response Tuesday. But today was also the kickoff of the World Economic Forum 2026 out in Davos. Out in Davos, Switzerland, as they always meet, as the elitists literally take up an entire town to discuss and have conversations and eat steak and the most rarest and finest exotic ingredients and the most lavishly living lifestyles. They close off an entire town of Davos, Switzerland, so that they can talk about how they're going to run the world. So it's kind of ironic that we just get live stream. We just get to watch bits and pieces of their live stream. It's open to the public, so we can watch some of those clips. We are going to review some of those clips. We've got some good ones. We got some spicy ones. We got some interesting takes from unexpected individuals. So we will talk about all of that on this Tyranny Response Tuesday as well. And I also wanted to touch base on the current situation unfolding in the La Vista Correctional Facility with Tina Peters and her now being in solitary confinement due to a assault altercation that has been recorded. It's on video, so we're actually going to review some of that video, watch some of the breakdown of I believe it was Apollo that did a visual breakdown of the video, but we can actually get into the minutia and kind of see what our takes are on it. I personally believe there is a coordinated effort to continue to intimidate and attack Tina within the prison, whether it be from these other convicted criminals in there, or maybe some more nefarious deals are being had with the warden or the correctional officers there, trying to rough her up, trying to cause a more difficult situation, a living situation there. And that ties in intimately with the Civil Rights Division and Harmeet Dillon and the DOJ investigation that's unfolding there. And then the larger conversation of her appeals case, and now she has to, there's open discussion of maybe this appeals case might ask for a redetermination of her sentencing, or asking for a retrial based on the inaccuracies of her sentencing. But we're going to get into all that here on today's live stream. Folks, if this is the first time joining Break the Chains Media, hit that thumbs up button, smash that follow, smash the like button, be a part of the Chain Breakers here on Break the Chains Media. And I do want to reach out, anyone that's listening right now, please share this, because this is how we get information out. This is how we change the culture, change the media landscape by having these conversations with the lay persons of the world like myself, these people that are not inclined to be part of the Davos community, these elite structures and these elite conversations. Speaking of conversations, I am planning on holding a Spaces event tonight on X. So if you follow me on X, if you're in Colorado, if you're involved in Colorado politics, we are going to be speaking specifically on Colorado politics in this Spaces event. We're going to be talking about the 2026 legislative session. We're going to be talking about Colorado laws, and we're going to be talking about the Jeffco GOP bylaws, a conversation that's still being tossed around back and forth. You got pros and cons and a whole bunch of conversation going on with that. So I'm going to have a Spaces event tonight at 8 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Colorado time, Don't know what that time is for you if you're watching somewhere else, but come join me on Spaces. I do have the event set up on X, so be a part of that. And without further ado, we are going to jump into it. You can also check me out, breakthechains.media. That is the website. That is the landing page. Realm Walker Hot Sauce, the hot sauce, the official hot sauce of Break the Chains Media. Realm Walker Hot Sauce, travel the 9 realms of Norse mythology. Come pick up your bottle by following Realm Walker Hot Sauce on Instagram or reaching out to Break the Chains Media myself on any social media platforms. We've got some milder flavors. These green ones are mild, but you got some really hot ones here. You got some Trinidad Scorpion roasted red pepper, as well as smoked chocolate Douglas, Carolina Reapers, Dragon's Breath peppers, all the good stuff. Smoky, spicy, travel the 9 realms of Norse mythology. You've got Niflheim, you've got Midgard. Those are the more mild ones, but you also have Muspelheim, Ragnarok, and Asgard. Fantastic flavors. Working on these others, but you know, folks, I grow the peppers myself, so the batches are super small batch. So when I have them, come get them. Come grab them while you can, because they're super limited and they're super delicious. Probably the best hot sauce you've ever tasted. So I encourage everyone who hasn't tried them yet, reach out to me and grab a bottle right now. I assure you, it'll be the best damn hot sauce you've ever had. I can guarantee you that. So reach out to me on Break the Chains Media or follow Realm Walker Hot Sauce on Instagram to pick up your bottle today. You also have Chainsaw Caucus. Rev up them chainsaws. Be a part of the Chainsaw Caucus. Cutting down bureaucracy, bloat, fraud, corruption, and abuse. Finding political candidates that stand for liberty, that stand with the people. Be a part of the Doge efforts to cut through the bureaucracy of government abuse and spending. So Chainsaw Caucus is a nationally recognized 527 pack. Your $10 a month donation with the pinned in the description below. There's a pinned link. You can hit that. Use that affiliate link to be a part of Chainsaw Caucus. I encourage everyone to jump on board with that. Without further ado, we're going to jump right into it, folks. Let's get into it here because I'm going to be hitting some good stuff here on the live stream for everyone. Anyone that's on YouTube, anyone that's on X, I encourage you to make your way over to Rumble at some point later in the stream because I will be doing a Rumble Premium paywalled edition of my uncensored content. We're going to talk about some other stuff. We're going to talk about some more of the meatier content of my my personal opinions, my personal outlooks on life. So about a little bit, you know, we got 30, 40 minutes before we go into that paywall, but just a heads up, but we're going to get into it here. James O'Keefe, he does great work, folks. He does a good job. Okay, let's just pause it right here. So James O'Keefe, okay, great dude. Does some awesome investigative reporting. Been doing it many, many years. He is actually in Davos right now. He is in Davos, Switzerland right now, trying to uncover this agenda regarding stratospheric aerosol injections and climate change, global warming, you name it. He's gone undercover as a climate executive of his own accord, trying to have these other international groups spill the beans, as it were, with climate change, weather modification, and all of these other things. And I just got to take a moment. I got to pause because, James, I love the work you do. And I say it right here. You do a great job. James, you do an awesome job, everything you do. But this climate change narrative stuff, it's nothing new, my friend. It is nothing new. They've been doing it for the better part of 30 plus years, at least. They've trimmed and tightened. They've calculated their attack. They've calculated their response. They are very meticulous in how they operate now. And they do this very well. It's very well orchestrated, whether it's cloud seeding, whether it's chemtrails. Oh, I'm using the hot topic conspiracy theory term, but they call it stratospheric aerosol injections. They use barium oxides and aluminum salts and all of these things, various different chemicals, sulfur oxides, sulfur dioxide, I believe it is. They inject many different particles in the air to refract sunlight to change the global temperature. It is a very well-known strategy that they do, that they use, that they implement for a long time. So, James O'Keefe does great work, but this information is nothing new to those who have to those who know the extent to which these globalists have been entrenching themselves. It's all part of the Agenda 2030 narrative and the 17 social development goals that I regularly discuss. And if you guys have been on any of my live streams in the past 3 months, you guys have probably heard me talk about the 17 SDGs, the 17 social development goals. This is a global agenda. This is a global policy operated. I do believe it is in tangent to the World Economic Forum, but I don't know if it's exclusive to the World Economic Forum. But let me look it up. SDGs, just because it's a UN thing. So it is intimately tied with the World Economic Forum, but it is not of the World Economic Forum. It is the United Nations, which arguably is still the Global Economic Forum, the World Economic Forum, right? They're all one and the same, right? So the 17 SDG goals are part of a UN agenda that is intimately tied with the World Economic Forum's larger narrative on how they shift and how they discuss. The World Economic Forum is essentially a big party and a big discussion, conversation, group think idea, think tank operation on a global scale, whether you have world leaders, kings, prime ministers, presidents, the movers and shakers of the global community, right? So at the World Economic Forum, we've got the movers and shakers that discuss various different topics, whether we're talking about climate change, whether we're talking about artificial intelligence, whether we're talking about sustainable goals and food production, energy production, the movement of industry, the movement of migration. So many of these different topics are discussed at the World Economic Forum in Davos every year. So I believe it's at least once a year, but sometimes it's twice a year. It really depends on when these globalists meet. But they have these discussions. They rent out the entire town of Davos, Switzerland. They eat the most lavish of foods. They eat steak. They eat imported exotics from around the world. While they tell the peasants, while they tell the lay persons, you can't eat meat, and you can't drive a car, and burning fossil fuels are bad. Meanwhile, they fly on private jets with motorcades all across the world, and they land there to tell you how bad you are, while they themselves are the epitome of the deepest and most entrenched hypocrites, because they live the lavish lifestyles, but they don't want you to live the lavish lifestyle because it's bad for the world, but it's okay for them. Listen, do as what we say, not as what we do, right? This is the age-old narrative that is being pushed by these elitists, by these globalists from the World Economic Forum, and it ties intimately with the 17 social development goals of the United Nations. Now, it's an overlap, folks. It is an overlap with the United Nations, these 17 SDGs, these social development goals. We're talking about poverty, zero hunger, good wealth and being. Everything sounds very altruistic, very good on its face. Quality education. Why is gender equality one of their global concerns, right? Clean water and sanitation. You got affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth. Industry, innovation and infrastructure. Reduced inequalities, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, climate action, life below water, life on land, and peace, justice, and strong institutions. Partnership for the goals. Folks, the Sustainable Development Goals is a World Economic Forum front within the United Nations. The World Economic Forum discusses these said developmental goals through various forums and discussions and groups. I've clipped a few of them. We're going to be discussing them in just a little bit. I've got Yuval Noah Harari, the legend, the anti-God, the technocrat dictator who believes AI is going to take over the world and God doesn't exist.
But he comes out the gate real hot talking about AI, religion, social media, and freedom of speech. So we're going to get into that in just a second. We've also got Gavin Newsom there. Donald Trump was there. Howard Lutnick. I've got a very interesting clip. There's a very interesting clip with Howard Lutnick that we're going to break down in just a few minutes as well. I can't trust Howard Lutnick for as far as I could throw the guy. However, I have a hard time disagreeing with some of the statements he said in the opening statements he made at the World Economic Forum. But we are going to get into that in just a second here. But yes, the globalists, they're going to be there for about 2 weeks to talk about all these different things, and we will go over as much as we can here on Break the Chains Media. So you got to smash that thumbs up button. Follow this channel, whether you're on YouTube, Rumble, X, you name it, follow it, because we're going to be breaking down all the stuff here of the World Economic Forum, because this is the fight. This is the fight. This is Agenda 2030. This is their Sustainable Development Goal narrative. This is how they push it. This is how they shift the world into this globalist, technocratic dictatorship through climate change, through policy change, through inequalities, through migration, international global migration tactics from third worlds to first worlds. This is the globalist agenda, to make the entire world live in their subservient little bubble based on these ideologies that they pulpit and they narrate from their little closed, encapsulated world in Davos, Switzerland. So we're going to go over all that right now. But I did want to address, hit this for just a moment with James O'Keefe. He's got a 20-minute video. We're not going to go over the entire 20-minute video, but he does infiltrate the Davos World Economic Forum, and we're going to listen to that here in just a
I'm going to go in there.
quick bit here.
Working with laser light comms and DARPA. That company, do you have that company in your portfolio that does artificial rain? There might be people around you that you can collect to have information to do that.
God black rock behind us.
Put sulfur dioxide there is actually a pretty cheap way to cool down the earth.
Oh yeah.
So,
Let's say I don't want aluminum oxides in my lettuce. Are you kidding me? A cocktail from the hill that they're spreading above our heads. Yes.
You guys work with carbon taxes at all?
We are one of the largest climate accelerators.
I think he noticed your wig, so I think we should
Yeah, let's go.
Someone noticed the wig, so we have to get the hell out of here.
The wig is ridiculous.
And I support the work you guys are doing. I support what you guys are doing, because they said that BlackRock was behind all the climate stuff. Someone noticed the wig, so we have to get the hell out of here.
Yeah, so we got James O'Keefe dropped this video. It's a 20-minute video. Totally check it out. I did share it on my X, so I encourage you to check it out. He's going to be probably posting more. I would just only assume he's got more to come from James O'Keefe. But I just wanted to quickly touch on that angle because, folks, I've been talking about it for many, many years that they are putting chemicals in the air. They are injecting stratospheric aerosol injections, as John Brennan himself stated many years ago, 8 years ago, speaking about stratospheric aerosol injections to modify and change weather patterns, to modify and change the sun, the rays that enter the Earth's atmosphere, whether it's aluminum oxides, barium salts, sulfur dioxide, you name it, they put it in the air to inject and manipulate the climate. But James goes into detail on that, and he does great work as well. But I just think that, maybe there'll be more coming out from James, but I actually want to specifically shift gears. Well, not really shift gears, but I wanted to watch some of these videos I just posted of some of these other World Economic Forum leaders speaking in the 2026 World Economic Forum. Folks, this is Yuval Noah Harari, and he is going hard right out the gates because he is an anti-religion, anti-God technocrat who believes that AI will take over the world. We will live in this artificial simulation of technology merged with real life, and the blurred of the lines of reality and digital world will be so thin and veiled you won't even be able to recognize the difference. He wants to live in a Matrix-esque type reality, or we live in this alternate simulation world. And he comes right out the gates, talks about AI, religion, freedom of speech, and social media. So let's take a listen to Yuval Noah Harari, this trash bag, globalist, scumbag. Let's take a listen.
Some AI persons create a new religion, which gains the faith of millions of people. That should not sound too far-fetched, because after all, almost all previous religions in history have claimed that they were created by a non-human intelligence. Now, will your country extend freedom of religion to the new AI sect and to its AI priests and missionaries? Maybe we should start with something a bit simpler. Will your country allow AI persons to open social media accounts, enjoy freedom of speech on Facebook, on TikTok, and be friendly with your children? Well, of course, that question should have been asked 10 years ago. On social media, AI bots have been operating as functional persons for at least a decade. If you think AIs should not be treated as persons on social media, you should have acted 10 years ago. 10 years from now, it will be too late for you to decide whether AIs...
Very quickly, look at this presentation. Look at this screen that's being displayed behind him, okay? Speaking on AI, talking about religion, talking about social media, talking about freedom of speech. Meanwhile, behind the scene, quite literally, is a gigantic eyeball staring at the public, staring at the people. This is literally straight out of George Orwell's 1984. An eyeball on the eyes of the world, watching, waiting, and observing every motion, movement, and thing we do in our lives. He's speaking on AI, he's speaking on surveillance, he's speaking about what you can and can't say or how it should be done, speaking on religion. This guy is he's a blasphemer, extremist, anti-religionist, technocrat, evil scumbag. Just look at the symbolism, that's on display right now. Absolutely evil.
Should function as persons in the financial markets, in the courts, in the churches. Somebody else will already have decided it for you.
Someone else will have already decided it for you. This is the world that he's trying to push on society. AI infiltrating every aspect of our life, an AI religion, a belief that people will follow suit behind an AI religion. It makes me think back, there was actually this funny meme.
Suppose some AI persons...
Okay. There was actually a funny meme where it's like a timeline of humanity, and it's like a 6-frame. It's like one of the frames is like humanity evolves over time, and then humanity develops AI. The AI builds great wonders of architecture, gigantic pyramids, and mega structures using AI and using advanced technology. And then the AI becomes a god, and humanity worships said god. And then humanity fights over itself, and AI destroys humanity. And then the cycle repeats. And then humanity comes back hundreds of thousands of years later to find these remnants, these ruins of old megalithic structures like the pyramids, or like the temples of Göbekli Tepe, or ancient architecture. And we don't know how it was built, we don't know how it was done, but yet somehow along the way in the cyclic pattern of human history, the AI and the past civilizations of humanity built these things with the aid of AI. And maybe that's what we're living with right now. Maybe we're living this this doom cycle, this doom spiral of a multi-thousand-year cycle of humanity where we build up society to a degree, we build up AI and technology to such a high degree that we ourselves are consumed by AI and destroyed. We destroy nations. We destroy our humanity. Humanity is obliterated because of AI, and then we get sent back to the Stone Age. We are unable to do all the things we had before in the past, and then we have to start all over again from ground zero, and the cycle continues. Maybe that is something that he's tipping his hat to, but only time will tell, I suppose. I do not want to see a future like that, but you let me know in the comments. Let me know in the chat what you guys think about AI and religion and God and this whole concept of humans being so dependent on AI and potentially coming to the next revelation that there will be a sect of human society that praises AI as its new religion. And we got this over here, folks. This one's fantastic. I didn't know what to really make of this, but this is a clip. This is from Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom's down there at the World Economic Forum right now. He is up in Davos, Switzerland as well, and he's commenting on all the people there and he kind of poo-poos the elitism and the snobbiness, the nature of it all in the beginning. But some of the stuff he said was absolutely, like, just out of pocket insane, like completely ridiculous. Never would have, like, where was his mind when he thought of some of the things he just said in this? So this is Gavin Newsom at the World Economic Forum 2026, quoting, "Donald Trump is a T-Rex. You either mate with him or he devours you." What kind of statement is that? Among the other crazy quotable clips out of this video, bring a pair of knee pads is on a whole nother level too. Let's take a listen. Let's take a listen to what Gavin Newsom has to say. Let's unpack this together, and you let me know in the live chat what you guys think. Let's take a listen.
I can't take this complicity. People rolling over. I should have brought a bunch of knee pads for all the world leaders. I mean, handing out crowns and this is pathetic. Nobel Prizes that are being given away. I mean, it's just pathetic. And I hope people understand how pathetic they look on the world stage. I mean, at least from an American perspective, it's embarrassing. It's time to buck up. It's time to get serious and stop being complicit. It's time to stand tall and firm, have a backbone. I've seen this in the United States, the supine Congress playing both sides, saying one thing on a text or a tweet and another publicly. It's time to have principle. It's time to stand tall and strong. It's time to stand united. You make that determination. I don't make that determination. When you say standing collectively, this is diplomacy with Donald Trump. He's a T-Rex. You mate with him or he devours you. One or the other. People need to stand, but no, the Europeans could be if they continue down this path and process. They need to stand tall, stand firm, stand united. This a year ago we should have been having this conversation, and they didn't. Okay, and now you're paying the price. Exactly what anyone objective observer would have anticipated we'd be where we are today.
Folks, can we just listen to that one more time, the T-Rex thing?
Time to stand united, make that determination. When you say standing collectively, this is diplomacy with Donald Trump. He's a T-Rex. You mate with him or he devours you. One or the other.
Donald Trump is a T-Rex. You either mate with him or he devours you. Gavin, what are your like staffers telling you to say these things? Like, none of this makes sense. Donald Trump's a T-Rex. You either mate with him or he devours you. I can't, like, that is one of the craziest quotes I've ever heard a politician say, and I've heard a lot of crazy shit. I have heard a lot of crazy stuff in my day, and Gavin Newsom calling Donald Trump a T-Rex, and you either got to mate with him or he devours you, is on a whole nother level, folks. That is wild. And this is all in conversation, in relationship to Donald Trump's acquisition of Greenland and the narrative that the conversation around Greenland. And I was going to get into that, debating on if I should or not. I want to kind of stay focused on the World Economic Forum stuff, but the whole Greenland conversation is rather interesting. And I think doing it through diplomacy, why shouldn't Greenland be part of the United States? Why shouldn't it? If you're going to offer a deal through Denmark, through purchase, through trade, through treaty, whatever have you, through diplomacy, why not? If and when China and or Russia decide to come through the Northern Passage over the North Pole, do you really think that Denmark is going to be able to defend Greenland against foreign adversaries or foreign threats? This is exactly why Donald Trump and the United States needs to take claim over that territory, just to have the military presence to be able to defend it if and when these other foreign nations decide to come over the North Pole. It's a very simple geopolitical moving of the pieces strategy, and it needs to be addressed appropriately through diplomacy, through treaty agreements, and I do think that the solution is on the table, or they're at least in conversation to. But to have it be such a weaponized, visceral, deciding third rail topic of oh, we're going to war, sending German troops and Swedish troops over to Greenland to defend against Trump's invasion of Greenland. Absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Diplomacy is the solution. Treaty agreement is the solution. Offering Denmark a sum of money to purchase the territory of Greenland, to allow the United States to defend it against foreign adversaries and foreign threats, is an extremely reasonable thing to discuss. There. I think I said that cleanly enough. All right. Now this is actually the most interesting clip takeaway. This is actually the most interesting takeaway from the World Economic Forum. Okay? Okay. Wonderful. Amber alerts are awesome. Love that. So, with that being said, Howard Lutnick. What do we know about Howard Lutnick? Howard Lutnick was the neighbor of Jeffrey Epstein in the New York City apartment. Howard Lutnick shared a New York penthouse floor with Jeffrey Epstein in the mid 2000s, early 2000s. Shared a New York suite, or excuse me, I didn't want to say shared a New York suite, but they lived as neighbors. Howard Lutnick and Jeffrey Epstein lived as neighbors in the largest New York City penthouses in the city. Okay? Now, Howard Lutnick is the defense secretary. Excuse me. Howard Lutnick is the Department of Commerce secretary in the Trump administration currently. So, Howard Lutnick is speaking at the World Economic Forum, and he just drops this banger, and I want to see, what do you think? What do you think about what Howard Lutnick is stating and what Howard Lutnick is discussing at the World Economic Forum? You let me know in the live chat right now. But Howard Lutnick drops these bombshells on the World Economic Forum 2026. Let's take a listen.
Okay. We are in Davos at the World Economic Forum. And the Trump administration and myself, we are here to make a very clear point. Globalization has failed the West and the United States of America. It's a failed policy. It is what the WEF has stood for, which is export, offshore, far shore, find the cheapest labor in the world, and the world is a better place for it. The fact is, it has left America behind. It has left the American workers behind. And what we are here to say is that America First is a different model, one that we encourage other countries to consider, which is that our workers come first. We can have policies that impact our workers. Sovereignty is your borders. You're entitled to have borders. You shouldn't offshore your medicine. You shouldn't offshore your semiconductors. You shouldn't offshore your entire industrial base and have it be hollowed out beneath you. You should not be dependent for that which is fundamental to your sovereignty on any other nation. And if you're going to be dependent on someone, it darn well better be your best allies. Okay? And so that is a different way of thinking. It is completely different than the WEF. I viewed the WEF as not a flagpole in the middle, but in fact, they are the flag. Whichever way the wind blew, so it blew. You should have solar, you should have wind. Why are you going to do solar and wind? Why would Europe agree to be net zero in 2030 when they don't make a battery? They don't make a battery. So if they go 2030, they are deciding to be subservient to China, who makes the batteries.
Folks, it's hard to argue with that kind of logic. I have to admit it. Hate to be the bearer of bad news. I have a hard time disagreeing with anything that Howard Lutnick says. As much as I don't trust Howard Lutnick, as much as I still think he is a deceptive and manipulative man, and he has arguably maybe some skeletons in his closet just through association. What he just explained about globalism and what the World Economic Forum's policy has been for multiple years is antithetical to American First ideology, to America First industry or economy. How do we save our nation? How do we save our country from within? We have been exporting jobs. We have been exporting manufacturing. We have been exporting wealth for decades in America. America has turned into a consumer nation since the 90s. We have done nothing but export everything, and all of our entire citizenry has been nothing but turned into consumers. So what Howard Lutnick is saying, how do we properly invest in the world globalization strategy if we're abusing and if we're taking advantage of cheap slave labor, or we're making deals with adversaries to be beholden to their technology, whether it's chips or batteries or various types of technology or oil? How can countries be prosperous and succeed if we are so hyper dependent on a globalization model of economy and infrastructure? That is not the winning strategy. That is not the way forward. So as much as I dislike the guy, as much as I dislike Howard Lutnick, I believe everything he said there is accurate and truthful. There is not a lie that is told when it says, if you want to focus on America first, you got to bring the jobs back to America. And you can apply that to any country. It doesn't just have to be America first. That is the essence. That is the quintessential model of nationalism. Focusing yourself on your own investments at home. Focus on the at-home improvements that you can do to better your nation. And I do believe what Howard Lutnick is saying here rings true for a lot of many reasons. For a lot of many reasons. For a lot of different reasons. Right? So, for what it's worth, Howard Lutnick might be a scumbag, might be a dirty little scoundrel. However, what he said about globalism and the globalization tactics of the World Economic Forum, I do agree with.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very interesting. What a time to be alive. What a time to be alive when I actually have to reluctantly agree with what Howard Lutnick says, right? That is wild. That is crazy. Folks, smash that thumbs up button. Be a part of the Chain Gang. Welcome to Break the Chains Media. This is Tyranny Response Tuesday. We're going to be hitting it hard in one more option, one more discussion here. We are rounding out the, where are we at? We're at 40-something minutes right now. Say hello in the chat. Appreciate y'all hanging out. Appreciate y'all being here. Thank you for saying hello. Thank you for supporting Break the Chains Media. I did want to actually shift gears slightly. If you guys haven't heard yet, I am going to be hosting a Spaces event tonight. You can find that Spaces event on my X page. I'm talking specifically about Colorado issues, the legislative session, about Colorado law, Colorado bylaws. We're going to get into all of that fun and exciting stuff. If you want to know how the sausage is made, this is a Spaces event that I encourage y'all to be a part of. How the sausage is made. And it is a big rigmarole. It is very daunting to take it all in, because there is so much just trying to understand the scope of politics is just very it's mentally draining, to say the least, to try to understand law and practice and legislative terms and how the process works, whether you have committees, subcommittees, vacancy committees, how you caucus, how you primary, so many different things. And I want to get into all of that on the Spaces event tonight. So join me, follow me on X. We'll be hitting it off 8 p.m. Colorado time, whatever that is. So in 3 hours, wherever you live, in 3 hours, I'll be doing a live Spaces event. So I encourage everyone to check it out. Be a part of it. Be a part of the future you want to see in the world. But we are going to shift gears here, because the Tina Peters conversation, right? Tina Peters. We got some stuff to mention about Tina Peters and the assault charges that she is now facing, and she is now living in a hole in solitary confinement. Let's take a listen. Let's take a look. Yeah. Let's look at this. Yeah. I've got this pulled up. Yeah. Look at this. Great. Yeah. See, this just fucking does not look good. No, folks. Why do I always? I hate it. Hold on. I'm trying to find every one I click on, it always says you gotta be a subscriber to watch this video, to be a part of this. Okay, cool. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Great. All right, let's get into it, folks. Smash that thumbs up button. Be a part of the Chain Gang. Follow this channel on Rumble, X, YouTube, you name it. Facebook, Instagram, Break the Chains Media. Get involved. Be a part of the Chain Gang. This is Tyranny Response Tuesday. Let's kick the tires and light the fires. Let's go. We got it. Who's going to get the first treasure chest of the day? Who's going to be the one? You decide. Say hello in the live chat. Let's get it. Let's go. So, yesterday, for immediate release, this is from the TinaPeters.us. Last night, Tina Peters was assaulted at approximately 9 p.m. Mountain Time in La Vista Correctional Facility. Tina was inside a maintenance closet to fill up a water unit when an inmate approached her in the closet and began striking her in anger. Tina raised her hand and pushed the inmate away in defense of herself. Per Tina, the camera showed her pushing the inmate away from her out of the closet. She was subsequently handcuffed, shackled, and brought into solitary confinement. Tina was told she's being charged with felony assault for defending herself against an unprovoked attack. She'll be locked down completely for 24 to 72 hours and held in IDO, solitary confinement, the hole, for an unknown period of time. As far as Tina is aware, the inmate who assaulted her has not been charged, slept in their cell last night, and will face no consequences. This incident is clearly a targeted attack against Peters. In all likelihood, it is being used as an opportunity to isolate and harass Tina Peters further. Tina has been warning officials that something like this would have happened. Eventually, she was advised to apply for the incentive pod. Tina has applied repeatedly and had been denied despite nothing disqualifying her. Something is not right at La Vista Correctional Facility. Tina has minor injuries but is not seriously injured as of this morning. Can you imagine a 70-year-old Tina Peters being charged for another felony for defending herself? This is the weaponization. This is corruption. This is abuse. We have to have an immediate investigation by the Civil Rights Division. There needs to be an immediate injunction from the federal government into La Vista Correctional Facility to find out who is operating, who is in charge there, and why they are weaponizing so much against Tina Peters. Do we really need to know the why? We know why. The fact that Tina Peters is a political prisoner and they're doing everything they can to demonize her and abuse her in any way, shape, and form that they can. And the crazy thing is, folks, the craziest thing is that there are no there are no low security prisons for women in the state of Colorado. So Tina Peters has to share her prison sentence has to be served in a prison system that is built and maintained for murderers, drug traffickers, assaulters, child abusers, you name it. She has to share a prison with violent criminals. Tina Peters is a non-violent criminal, and she has to share her sentence, share her time in prison with these dangerous people who I think, and I genuinely believe, this is my opinion, who are either being instructed to instigate harm against Tina, or the warden or the correctional officers, someone involved in that system there at La Vista is instructing these inmates to target Tina Peters in various different ways so that situations and instances just like this take place. So, let's watch the video. But first, we're going to get a review from 9 News, from the most trusted name in news in Colorado. 9 News. I'd like to get the other side of the story first before we do a full breakdown on our end, but Tina Peters in altercation caught on camera. Let's take a listen. Let's see if I got to watch Kyle Clark here.
The incident at La Vista Correctional Facility in Pueblo lasts just seconds.
Check it out.
That's
Check
Peters appearing to have her hand or hands on...
Hold on. Check it out. Notice when 9 News
the
starts
neck or
their
the
video.
incident at La Vista Correctional... The incident at La Vista...
Notice when they started, okay? They started right here. Take that into consideration. They start the video right here. And I'll show you the proof later on. I will show you the full video later on. Let's keep going.
Vista Correctional Facility in Pueblo lasts just seconds. That's Peters appearing to have her hand or hands on the neck or shoulders of another female inmate, pushing her across the room. Peters' team claims that she was assaulted, defended herself, got injured, and is being punished with solitary confinement and the threat of a felony assault charge. All while President Trump delivers blows of a different sort to Colorado, withholding funding and moving government installations out of state because Colorado will not release his political ally, who's in prison for breaching voting systems in an unsuccessful search for election.
Wrong. Incorrect. She is not in prison for breaching security systems. Tina Peters is not in prison for breaching security systems in Colorado. Let's listen to that again, because 9 News spins stories and lies to the public for media propaganda purposes. Period. Let's take a listen, folks. We're gonna back it up a few, and we're gonna dig right into it. Okay.
Will not release his political ally, who's in prison for breaching voting systems in an unsuccessful search for election rigging.
Absolutely incorrect. Tina Peters is not in prison for breaching security systems in search of election interference. She was never convicted of a felony due to election interference. That is a lie pulpited by 9 News and mainstream news articles and outlets across the country. Tina Peters did not gain felony charges for election interference and election tampering of equipment. She is in prison for... you know what? Let me just pull it up, because I have it here. Okay, where is it at? I have it here. It's right here, folks. Give me 2 seconds. 2 seconds because I have it pulled up. Okay. Here. These are the felony charges against Tina Peters. Excuse me. These are the charges against Tina Peters. And you tell me where it says election interference. You tell me where it is. Okay? Tina Peters guilty felonies on counts 1, 2, and 4 of attempt to influence a public servant. Count 6, conspiracy to commit criminal impersonation. Misdemeanors. Count 8, official misconduct. Count 9, violation of duty. Count 10, failure to comply with Secretary of State requirements. Where in this does it say that Tina Peters is convicted of felony charges of election interference and election tampering of equipment? 9 News is a media propagandist outlet pulpiting lies and deception on the public of Colorado and the nation. Sorry, it just fires me up that people still feed the lies that she was in search of election. She was trying to tamper with and search for election interference. That is bullshit. Absolute lie. Let's keep going here. Okay, let's keep going.
In the incident caught on camera Sunday night, Peter steps out of view in a doorway. Another inmate approaches and is partially obscured by the doorway for about a second. Then Peters is seen pushing her back across the room. The Department of Corrections says neither woman was hurt, that they were separated for their own safety, and that Peters is not in solitary. This isn't the first physical altercation involving the former Mesa County clerk that's been caught on camera. In 2022, she was seen kicking at a police officer, serving her with a search warrant in a bagel shop in Grand Junction. Court documents say officers told Peters, "Do not kick. Do you understand? And please relax." To which she yelled, "No."
No. Hold on, let me watch this again because I want to see how they.
The incident at La Vista Correctional Facility.
Watch. Just watch. Let's watch this again.
Involving the former Mesa County clerk that they were separated is seen pushing us and is partially obscured by the doorway for about a second. Then Peters is seen pushing her back across the room.
Okay. No. This footage is modified. I can already tell. I can already tell because I saw the plain footage. Watch.
Then Peters is seen pushing her back across the room. The department and is partially obscured by the doorway for about a second. Then Peters is seen pushing her back across the room.
No.
The Department of Corrections is partially obscured by the doorway for about a second. Then Peters is seen pushing her back across the room. The Department of Corrections says neither woman.
Okay, we're gonna do this in real time. I have the footage here from Apollo.
And they said,
but
are in fact using swamp coolers because apparently the H frame. I've seen the crack of the door where Tina is right there. As this unit,
that's not it. Hold on.
It comes up. This inmate is actually yelling, "You disrespected me! You disrespected me!" Tina asked her what the.
Okay, so preface: we're watching this Apollo Papas on X, 14-minute breakdown. We're not going to watch this entire thing, but he does a really good breakdown of it. But I'll show you compared to what we just saw on this 9 News clip. What are we going to watch here? Okay. Let's watch. This is Tina's in the closet. Tina's over here, and this person comes up behind this water cooler thing.
The problem was, she said it's not a big deal, relax, and essentially just tried to calm her down. So, if she needed to get in, she would move out of the way and move the unit for her. Now here, right there, it's hard to see, especially when you're watching at 1x speed, but when you slow it down, you can see right here another punch. She leaned in? And so I'm going to show you, there's actually 2 times that she reaches out to strike Tina. One is here, right there.
One punch?
And if you're familiar with JKD, that is what is known as a lead jab or a straight punch. Because you can see how she pushes off of her back foot. And then the second time, he reaches towards Tina to strike her. So you see, this is the first one. And the second one. And you will notice that at this point now, when Tina comes out, she is already grabbing the other inmate's right arm. And you can see that right when she comes out from behind the door. But after these two strikes...
then she moves the cooler.
Tina's already grabbing the inmate's right arm after she was hitting her. So contact already occurred before she came out from behind the door. Tina didn't just charge out for no reason. And I might add that anyone who knows Tina, despite whatever the news will say, Tina's not the kind of person to just like charge out at some girl because she was upset.
She's
that
probably
day.
so pissed and so fed up with all the shit that she's been dealing with,
Tina's
too.
no way an aggressor. She just simply is not. There's the first one. You can see her push off her back left foot and extend her right arm.
It sucks that it's happening behind a goddamn door, too. I mean, like, that's bullshit in itself.
Pulling against each other's hand. Tina's grabbed her left arm. So Tina's now holding the inmate's right arm, which was just reached out to strike her.
And this
her
isn't
other arm is on her
assault.
shoulder,
Like, if
around her
anything, this is
collarbone, and
self-defense.
She's pushing her back.
But
She does not
see, those
strike
shots
the
right
girl.
there doesn't do Tina any
They're
justice
simply
because it
standing
looks
there
like
with Tina
Tina's the
holding
aggressor,
her
right?
At arm's length.
And then she like says
Tina
like
says, "Don't do that again."
like back up, and then she pushes
and
her
then
away.
She disengages, and that's it. So this is what the news is telling you: is Tina Peters assaults another inmate. So, yeah, I do love the little straight jab because it's hard to see when you are on a. I do think it is interesting why they're.
And this is all the footage
12 hours of
beforehand,
any
right?
Not flattering angle in the middle of winter when it is 22 degrees.
Oh yeah, let's get into that.
9 News was given the footage within 12 hours of any public statement being out, and as of this morning, still have not produced any of the footage or anything else that I'm aware of.
We just watched the 9 News footage.
The statement is that Tina was clearly the aggressor because she's pushing this woman out, and I'll admit, first time I saw this footage, it was a not flattering angle. But I'm going to zoom in a little bit here, and I've slowed it down. Tina is moving this unit, and this is a swamp cooler.
A swamp
or
cooler.
An evaporative
also.
cooler. Now, I do think it is interesting why they're using a swamp cooler in the middle of winter.
That is
when
interesting.
It is 22 degrees. As we've seen through Tina's accounts and those of other inmates, it is exceptionally hot, often reaching upwards of 90 degrees. Just bear that in mind. They are, in fact, using swamp coolers because apparently the HVAC...
And folks, like, Tina's just doing her own thing right now. Like, she is just, like, doing her own thing. She's dealing with this evaporative cooler. She's in the water closet trying to fill it up. Like, she's doing her own thing. And then this other person just comes in out of nowhere and, like, just spurs on the altercation. And Apollo's bringing up a good point. Why do they have swamp coolers or evaporative coolers in a correctional facility in January? And prior investigations of the HVAC system in the La Vista Correctional Facility is also questionable. So it's interesting that they even have to use these types of coolers in the facilities as it stands right now. Anyways, it's very interesting. Civil Rights Division, where are you at? Harmeet Dillon, where are you at? Let's go.
System does not
Tina's
properly
in the water
heat the
closet.
place without it being unbearable. So now at this point, you're going to
And then
see
this person
other
just
inmate.
walks in.
Tina explained this to me basically frame by frame. And what's happening here when this other inmate comes up, I want you to keep in mind, she is pulling this unit, and Tina's arm and head are basically right in between this unit, that swamp cooler, and the door. So that inmate right there is essentially staring right at Tina's face. And you can kind of see in the crack of the door where Tina is, right there. As this unit comes up, this inmate is actually yelling, "You disrespected me, you disrespected me."
Like what?
Tina asked her what the problem was. She said it's not a big deal, relax. And essentially just tried to calm her down. So, you know, if she needed to get in, she would move out of the way, move the unit for her. Now here, right there, it's hard to see, especially when you're watching at 1x speed. But when you slow it down, you can see right here another punch. And so I'm going to show you there's actually 2 times that she reaches out to strike Tina. One is here, right there.
Right there.
And if you're familiar with JKD, that is what is known as a lead jab or a straight punch.
Yeah. So we don't have to keep going over this. You can watch his whole full 14-minute breakdown from Apollo. I posted this on my X account. He does a good breakdown and he has his own insights as well. But folks, we got to hold these media malpractitioners, these media propagandists accountable, and hold them to a higher standard, even though they're. I
The incident at La Vista Correctional Facility in Pueblo lasts just seconds. That's Peters peering to have.
Do you see how they cut it? It's a goddamn shame, and I would expect nothing else from Deceptive 9 News anyways. Folks, let me know what you guys think in the chat. Let me know where you guys are standing with this, because it is interesting. There's a constant weaponization against Tina. There's a constant it seems like every single day there's another angle, there's another controversy, there's another assault, or she's in solitary confinement for this, that, or the other, whatever reasons. There is a calculated effort to demonize and attack and accost Tina Peters, even within the facilities. So when you see all this federal action, all this federal movement of Donald Trump weaponizing against Colorado State in regards to moving of NCAR and the civil rights investigation, you name it, there's a federal action that's being had. But at the same time, there is a very precision-like strike targeting happening with Tina Peters as well. It's absolutely a shame to see how this is all unfolding. But you let me know what you guys think in the comments. We will keep tabs on the World Economic Forum, stay up to date with the World Economic Forum, but we are going to continue this on the other side, folks. I've got some other things that I wanted to get into, a little bit more nuanced discussions about some personal things and some real life things happening in Denver. So if you are a Rumble Premium subscriber, if you're a Rumble Premium subscriber, make sure you jump over to Rumble, be a part of the premium content here on Break the Chains Media. We are transitioning over in just a few moments. Make sure you smash that thumbs up button, be a part of the chain breakers here on Break the Chains Media. I appreciate everyone who shows up, and fight for freedom, never give up. We'll see you on the other side of Break the Chains Media.